Before we start today's show, and based off a lot of your guys' comments from yesterday's vid, I'm going to have to apologize to Kyle Brandt.
I owe you an apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game and, how you travel.
Man, you're a casual.
Apparently, Brandt's been on the Steelers since last year, which is respect. And a lot of you guys were saying that he was like the only one in the mainstream media talking us up. So that's good to see. And I just saw yesterday he continues to showcase his ball-knowing skills by doubling down on his Steelers belief.
Well, I know for a fact that most of you were not watching the Pittsburgh Steelers toward the end of last season because they reached a point where they were sub 500 and it looks like Mike Tomlin's above 500 streak was going to be broken. When you tuned out, what you missed was this Kenny Pickett, this rookie from Pitt, ended his season with a 5-game winning streak. But I feel like the Steelers season was over in the national media before Thanksgiving, and we started moving on to all the other things. Meanwhile, they almost snuck into the playoffs. They finished 9-8. My tip right now, today's date, April 12th, the Steelers will be in the playoffs next year. Kenny Pickett will make a big jump. The defense will be much improved. Watt may be their comeback player of the year if he even qualifies. I don't care. Steelers.
So you love to see some proper representation of what's going on within the Steelers world on a larger scale. Now all Brandt has to do is ditch that Josh Allen show. But the thing I really want to talk about today is the Steelers' potential of trading up into the top 10 and whether or not they should do it, because there are reports that the Steelers and Bears have had some conversations. During a live stream on YouTube, EJ Snyder of the Bootleg Football Podcast said that the Steelers and Bears have had conversations about moving up to pick 9. Bears and Steelers are possible, he says. They've talked about it. I know they've talked about it. It's by no means for sure. The most likely connect the dots moment is that Pittsburgh needs and a tackle, and they go up for one because there's one they like, and they'll be gone by the time they pick at 17. So what would it take to get this thing done? First, you have the pick swaps where the Steelers move up to 9. Bears would go down to 17. For that to happen, Steelers would have to include number 49, the second round pick at least. Because you look at the structure of the D. Bush trade made back in 2019, which is similar because we moved up 10 spots there. In this trade with the Bears, we'd be moving up 8. In addition to the pick swaps at the time, we also gave up our second rounder in that draft, plus the following year's third. So maybe in this one, could we get away with not giving up next year's third? And if we do, could it be a 4th round pick or higher? I don't know, but you guys can kind of see the gist of the structure of the foundation of a trade that would need to be made. So that leaves the question of, should the Steelers do something like this? You do the 1st round pick swaps, you give up pick number 49, and then a future pick potentially in the 3rd round, hopefully something higher. I say, sure. There's 2 players I definitely would want if the Steelers find themselves trading up to the top 10, and that's Peter Skoronski and Christian Gonzalez. In Skoronski, you get your franchise left tackle for the next decade, and then with Christian Gonzalez, you get the best cornerback in the draft, and presumably your CB1, your lockdown elite corner going forward. I think if you like either one of those guys that much, you feel like they're a tier above all the other prospects, and you feel like they can make an immediate impact this year and also be your long-term solution at those respective positions, you just do it. Like, I feel like it'd be better for us to take Christian Gonzalez if you feel like he's that guy, as opposed to waiting around and drafting a corner like Emmanuel Forbes or Keely Ringo and hoping that someday they develop into something that you already believe Christian Gonzalez to be. Plus, with those 2 positions, left tackle and a cornerback 1, it's okay to not go bargain shopping. It's cool to splurge a little bit because we know how much those 2 positions are a catalyst on the football field. And it's not like we're really losing anything either, because we still have that pick number 32. So we'd still go about having a normal draft for the most part, having a 1st round pick, a 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick, 4th round pick. I know we're missing our 5th and 6th, but we have a couple 7s. So at the end of the day, I'd be all for it if we could make it happen and trade up into the top 10 and draft either Christian Gonzalez or Peter Skoronski. At the same time, I just feel like we're in a great spot with this draft coming up. I think we could also be very content with staying put and doing damage with pick 17, 32, 49, and also number 80 in the 3rd round. I think we could also put something special together just by staying put. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Would you want the Steelers to trade up into the top 10? And knowing what it might cost, do you think it would be worth it? But that's it for this edition of Big Deke News on Thursday. Stay chillin'. Peace.